Hey guys, still there and welcome back to Surviving Mars, where we're still very much struggling to keep this colony alive. In the previous episode, I've set up this dome and got it operational. It's now mining rare metals, but the problem is that the dome itself is not getting enough energy, so all of the facilities around it are really starting to grind to a halt. And that includes the dome itself at times. So what I want to do in this episode is try to keep this dome operational as much as possible, make sure it's going to keep getting power. And with that I will need a bit more power generation, which I can not really do here yet, because I don't have any machine parts, nor do I have a lot of metal, so pretty much everything is in trouble at this point. And that's kind of the name of the game at the moment. Everything is in trouble. Resources are very scarce. My metal is very low. The only thing that I currently can really export quite a bit of is this, the open farm. In order to keep the open farm operational though, I will need seeds. And seeds are currently being generated by the hydroponics farm. But the other hydroponics farm does not have enough people. So my plan is to bring one of the stealth rockets back to Earth as quickly as possible and bring in a fresh haul of colonists to make sure that I can staff both the buildings over here that might need staffing, the hydroponics farms, and the rare metal miners that we have over on the northeast of this sector. In the meanwhile, Russia is still offering a bit of polymers, which I will happily take. And I am currently trading 50 food for 16 metal, which is a pretty bad trade. But at the moment it's really the only thing that I can actually, well, afford to lose beyond losing concrete. I have scanned a couple more sectors. I do believe that some of these sectors still might contain some metal. And that metal is going to be vital, because it's going to allow me to potentially set up a dome in the south. And once I have that dome, I might be able to then start mining stuff directly from there. And that's the dome that is going to be here. There's a very high deposit over here and I want to get there. I'm going to need quite a bit of resources. Unfortunately, I already have a decent amount of them. What I currently have is the requirements for concrete and polymers. I just miss out on the metals. If I were to go for something smaller, I would not really have a great solution, because I would only need more metal. The barrel dome potentially would be more interesting over here. It's going to require 20 metal. Does not seat any spires, but then again, I don't really have that many spires which could be interesting over here. Although the hanging gardens, well, they're always handy to have. So overall, I am very much struggling to keep this thing alive. In the meanwhile, I'm trying to do research, which can help me get more passengers over here faster in the form of the compact passenger module. And beyond that, there might be some anomalies here and there that could come in handy. I'm also still very much struggling with electronics. If I run out of electronics, I'm going to have a big issue. Because what will happen then is that the drone hub starts to shut down, and the shuttle hub starts to shut down. When that happens, the whole colony grinds to a big halt. So what I'm going to do is call down a supply pod. And I don't really like to do this, because they are really quite expensive to call in. But I need those electronics, and I probably also need a few machine parts. Just wasting most of my money on it, but I'd rather have a little bit less money in an operational colony than the other way around. Needless to say, the whole terraforming thing is not going terribly quick, because I simply don't have the resources to devote to those projects. The colony is still very much reliant on outside support, either from trade partners or from Earth, and the colonists are really unhappy with the current state, because I'm already getting a suicide here and there. This guy had... he could not... he could not game enough, apparently. And that was causing his comfort to go down. And he was working in dark hours, which is also not really helpful. Now we have an unidentified individual who's been spotted wandering the wastes near a wrecked shuttle. Wearing a spacesuit of an unfamiliar... Sorry, a spacesuit, not a spacesuit. A spacesuit of an unfamiliar design. When we got closer, we noticed severe burn-like marks. They seem to be deaf and numb because of some mysterious ailment. It seems to be like a very uncomfortable situation, because there's... Beyond skin touch and smell and taste, you lose out on a lot of sensors. I can say... I can not put the colony at risk. I can leave them to their fate, or I can bring them in. I'm going to do the humane thing, and I'm going to bring them in. We have accepted the mysterious patient. Scans and blood samples reveal changes to their insides and DNA. Changes never even theorized as a possibility before. A cutting-edge pharmaceutical research facility on Earth has expressed willingness to take on the unknown condition and send experimental drug schematics to slow down the progression of the disease at 50 million initially. It may be worth studying the disease and aiding the stranger as long as we can, in case we end up having to deal with it on a larger scale. Okay, I'll pay for this guy. Not that I have a lot of money left, but I do believe in doing the humane thing. Now my drone's over here. Should be working on offloading the supply pod, which is going to come in a couple seconds. And what did we get here? Probably going to unlock some additional research. The rover is currently picking up a few polymers, but beyond that, no metals yet. Unfortunately, I could really use those. Now, did I have that upgrade that allows you to build sensor towers? No, they still need maintenance. Did I get that? No, I don't have it yet. That's unfortunate. That is something that can really help you out, because it allows sensor towers to operate without maintenance. So I could scan areas faster, figure out where the metals are, and with that, immediately go and send the pickup to go and get them for me. Unfortunately, that's not really happening at this point. Now, I think that going for the Morscher copyrights right now might be more useful. What was it again? Control click. Because then I'm going to get another 2 billion in funding, which I can then use to get additional resources. There's still a dome without life support. That's the one over here. This is what I was talking about. There's so much that needs resources, that needs power, that I cannot afford it. And the batteries, well, they simply cannot be charged fast enough.
The readings told us it was a vein rich with ore. But the data turned out to be incorrect. Under those fine red sands lay the intact hull of a rover.
And we immediately recognized it. Curiosity. A historic finding that stretched its hand in a welcoming gesture through the years back to the first missions on the Red Planet. It belonged in a museum, but on the other hand, it was an opportunity to gain more parts that we could rarely get our hands on. Tough decision. I'd say this thing belongs in a museum on Mars. So I'm going to put this thing in a museum, and it's going to reduce social tech cost by 10%, which does stack very nicely, because that just saved me 770 research. So that's going to set the research forward by about half a day. Now, I do have some machine parts. Unfortunately, they're not exactly here. Do I still have a general depot? Or did I not build that? Oh, I have some machine parts here. That's handy. I want you to bring the machine parts. We're going to ferry those over here. Because what I want is another large wind turbine. Those are going to require 2 machine parts and a bit of concrete. At this point, I believe that the other rocket is back. So let's immediately bring over a bunch of... I need both geologists and botanists. Specialization, botanists. Okay, so we're getting geologists and botanists. Off you go. Because with those guys, I can make sure that this thing is going to get more people. So I expect to send out more rare metals to Earth. And at the same time, I get more botanists. So I can get those people to work in the hydroponics farms. And that allows me to get the main farm operational again. Oh shit, it's also malfunctioned. Okay, I need to export more food. Soil quality is quite good, 73%. What I can do is get potatoes built. They require relatively more seeds, but they produce more food as well. Actually, this is 10 food per seed. This is a bit more. I think herbs might be the best option. Okay, never mind the potatoes. We're not doing that. Alright, we have our electronics currently available. Yeah, you can drop that off. Actually, just unload them here. I'm gonna set up another one. If I can find a good spot to fit it. Yeah, here would do. Domes with no life support. Uh-oh. What are you missing out now? You do have oxygen, you got water, you got food, you're fine. The power supply network over here. Power production is 10. That's that windmill, the wind turbine. And I'm drawing 46. But at least this thing is now keeping the dome operational, which is absolutely a priority. Although it still claims that it doesn't have... There you go, it doesn't have sufficient power. So I would actually need to build another one of those. That's pretty bad news. What are my shuttles doing in the meanwhile? Good question. Where the hell are my shuttles? It's allowed to transport everything. So where are my machine parts currently? Because I do have some of them. They're not here. Hold up. Where are my machine parts? Some of them are still being produced. Oh, we got a small depot over there. Right, that's the go-between to make sure that this thing can stay operational. This is a vital area. Because without this little bit here, I would not be getting water to the colony. Let's give these drones some time to clear this stuff up. Yep, here come the new colonists. Stealth 2 is ready to go. The thing is, it does not really have a lot of exports. So yes, I could send it out, but it wouldn't be carrying that much.
New colonists have arrived.
There we go. I was kind of hoping for this to happen. I knew I still had a lot of tourists, and they're all waiting to go home. And with that, there's going to be a lot less of a strain on my food demand, or my food supplies. So just get these people home as quickly as possible, and that should free up a bit more food. Let's export some more concrete. Is that dome doing any better now? Yeah, now it has 2 of these windmills. And I think that we should be seeing more people starting to inhabit this dome. Because I want my geologist to be living over here. Specialization, geologist, yes. What does the patient want? Further research into the condition of the patient has been made. The first batch of the custom medications seem to have had quite the uplifting effect on them. Their condition was proven not to be contagious, and they're now allowed to wander the dome at will. Despite still being able to see with one eye, what language the patient speaks is currently unknown, thus barring all outlets from communicating short of gesturing. Still, our colonists seem to be reacting positively to this small solace afforded by the ailing stranger. I can see if I can help him more with another 50 million. Oh, I didn't actually harvest anything. That sucks. Right, at least the botanists are here now. About here. Yeah, these guys are generating normal food. Actually, I want more seed crops, guys. That is more of a priority. Seed crops are the key here. This one. Seed crops and giant rice. Excellent. And this is just seed crops. Alright. Okay, this is the stealth one with all the tourists on board. Get out. Oh, beautiful. There's a whole bunch of metal here. Go get it. Quick. That's going to be the lifeblood of the colony until I can get my own additional dome operational. This is going to help with our current research goals, so that should give a good boost to the Martian copyrights. These guys are currently under medium load, but building another one of these is pretty expensive. Alright, we're not dead yet. I'm actually getting some positive news here and there. The thing is, I still need more seeds over here. There's almost no food here. Nice! Well done. 1250. Let's set some more sectors to scan. In Stealth 2, ideally I'd keep it around a little longer. Especially since Stealth 1 is on the way back. But arguably I could send it off and get more colonists in here. Because I just need them. So we'll just have to wait for that export to come in the next time. It's not going to happen this time around. 7 colonists are earth sick. They're missing out on medical checks, relaxation, drinking, shopping, social. Yeah. Great. And that's because I don't have enough people here. So what I need to do is make sure that I can get more people. And with Stealth 1 and Stealth 2 together, I can bring another 24 colonists in. That should allow at least this dome to get a few more people to work those, I'll say, secondary jobs. And beyond that, maybe open up a few more worker slots in the machine parts, so that I can get these things to start producing more. And with machine parts, I can keep electricity going. So it's all tying into each other. Bit by bit. Research progressing quite nicely. I got 21 vacant work slots here. Damn, I need a lot more. And that's not even with the casino complex. Look at how few scientists I have. That is pretty bad. Maybe I can just close down one lab altogether and save a little bit of power, and more importantly, electronics. This is 15 power that these things desire. Japan's offering a bit more metal for our food. No, not in this case. I'm not going to do that. Alright, looks like one of the rockets is back. More botanists? No, not really. I need more engineers at this point. Engineers and geologists. That's the one that I want. Go. Because with the engineers, I can staff these facilities and get more performance out of them. But there's even a scientist in here. You're not even supposed to be in there. Habitability here, 56 out of 62. I can house another 8 here and another 6 there. And potentially, I'm going to shore up the tourism dome and not really rely too much more on tourism, but try to get this dome to actually be producing useful stuff. Or to have people live here and work there. The ranch is still providing a lot of food, if you wait long enough. Could I arguably set up another one of those? The thing is, I might be able to, but I still wouldn't get that much out of them.
Funding received.
72 million. Amusing. Cover crops are great. Because with the cover crops you can get a lot of seeds and these things become self-sustaining. So I would need to get 15% water and 30% temperature. I'm getting quite close to the latter, but the other one's quite far away. Could I crash another one of those ice meteoroids? Yeah, that's 5%. 100 fuel, easy to get. 15 machine parts, not terribly easy to get. Oh, the patient. Further research has been made, and a new drug to extend the life of the patient is available. So far, the custom drug seems to sustain the patient in a good enough condition for them to take short walks around the dome and even indulge in brief enjoyable activities. Although unable to communicate with any of us, I thought that we had this gesture language worked out. There seems to be a positive aura around the patient which fills our colonists with a certain determination to become better versions of themselves. For further research into the patient's condition, the pharmaceutical lab will require another 50 million. Alright. Here's another donation of 50 million. I cannot keep this up indefinitely, but for the moment I can more or less sustain it. There we go. I'm getting a decent amount of food here. 25, 26, 27. Seeds are also going up, albeit slowly. Just takes a long time for these things to grow. It takes a day. Still, you'd think that I have a bit of a backlog of seeds at this point. I also believe that I had a couple of those forestation plants. Yes, I do. There it is. I can already start to build grass, which is going to increase the soil quality by 10%. This is going to increase soil quality by 20%, so I don't really know why you would want grass. Beyond that, it looks a little nicer. What I'm ideally looking forward to is this. Adapted vegetation. Unlocks the planting of bushes and trees. The thing is, this takes a long time. It takes 10,000 research, and it is quite the amount of work in order to get that done.
Sector scanned.
It is quite the research-intensive item to get. Alright, new colonists are here. Look at that. This thing is waiting for one metal, and it's not getting it. So I have a lot of people over here just doing nothing. That's a big waste of resources.
New
when it comes
colonists
to
have
people.
arrived. Colonists are departing.
You're leaving? Oh, you're a tourist, so that's fine then. That's fine. Bit of food being taken from the rocket, and beyond that, just loading it up with fuel again. And the Japanese are once again offering more metal. I'll happily take that, because I still kind of need that. Alright, so now I should be seeing more productivity from these things, especially if I only limit them to have engineers. The thing is, where's my metal at currently? There's a little... Oh, actually, there's a decent supply of metal here. 30 points. Oh, and the rest of them is being dumped here. Oh, crap. So the shuttles should pick it up from here and start to ship it away, but they're not doing it. Maybe the shuttles are too busy. Let's check.
Research complete.
There's 4 out of 12 shuttles. Oh, look at that. Martian Martian copyrights is complete. And that just gave me 2 billion in funding. So now I can actually get a few more valuable resources in. And the Beyond Earth project has been sabotaged. The project has suffered a major setback. Okay, I guess that means that they might need more of my help. Which is not ideal, but I guess I can see what I can do about it. In the meanwhile, I think I'm going to call an additional cargo rocket with, let's see, I think 2 moisture vaporators should keep that new dome operational. A Stirling generator, these things are great, but they're really expensive. They always generate power, and if you keep them close, they don't even need maintenance. Alternatively, I can go for a small electronics factory and start to generate my own electronics, so I'm less reliant upon other entities. I think I don't... Well, I might be able to field one of these larger ones. Let's get a few machine parts in, a few of these... Couple of drones. And I still need a drone hub. There you go. Capacity is still 23,000 kilograms, but my money's out. Unfortunately. But ideally, I'd immediately start exporting those rare metals. Which are currently... There we go, they're being loaded on Stealth 1. Excellent.
Dust storm approaching.
Oh, that's not good. A dust storm could really mess with my colony in its current very, very fragile state. Normally, it's not that big of a deal. But a dust storm in its current state can shut down my shuttle hub. Or rather, will shut down my shuttle hub. Which is something that I could really, really notice. Because then all of those precious resources that I have are no longer going to get transported around the colony. That's something I quite fear. And I can also no longer launch rockets. Which is another concern. Oh no, all of these things are going offline. And there's a whole bunch of people earthsick. Crap. Prioritize this. Because I guess they're not getting their... Yeah, they don't get enough drinking. And relaxation. Which is something that's offered both here in the spacebar. I just don't have enough people here. I need more people. Stealth 2 is coming in. Stealth 1's ready to go out. Yeah, just go out before that dust storm hits. Take a bit of that stuff with you. That exportable stuff. That should give me about 300 million. And allow me to ship another 12 colonists back in. Albeit slowly. And I think that the Stealth 2 is not quite going to be able to land in time. So as much as I would like it, I'm going to have to, or as much as I dislike it, I'm going to have to wait for that dust storm to clear. I don't have any atmospheric boosters either, so the dust storm's going to potentially be about 18... Yeah, there you go. More than 18 hours. It's going to be 30 hours. So it really is quite a wait. Oh well. We can manage this, I think. Now, China is offering another bit of polymers for more concrete. I do like that, because polymers allow you to also start upgrading buildings. Like these things, the home collectives. They give you more service comfort, which already is quite good. And this patient requires more attention. Who abandoned them here? Where did they come from? How did they get afflicted with their condition? Their health is deteriorating rapidly. Yet they go around the dome, giving a hand to random colonists with mundane chores. We take it, this is their way of giving thanks. Sickness and disease have more or less become a thing of the past for humanity. Oh, how apt. This is why people are reacting so strongly to the woes of this stranger and are ever more inspired by the willfulness shown despite their grim condition. I'm going to give this guy another 50 million. And see if I can prolong his life. Uh-oh. We got a leak here and no metal to fix it. This is critical. This is absolutely critical. I need you to go here and pick up those resources. Because if we cannot fix that hole in time, then we're going to have a really big issue. Because we're going to be losing out on a ton of oxygen. Now, surprisingly, the shuttles can still work in a dust storm. I did see shuttles flying around. That's weird. Yeah, see? Here. Have you not heard that you cannot fly in a dust storm? I don't mind you flying around in a dust storm. I'm just a bit confused about you doing it. Alright, I'm also getting a surplus of seeds at this point, so that's excellent. Has the oxygen thing been fixed? No, there's another leak here. I'm losing out on a lot of water and quite a bit of oxygen each hour. How much do I have left? That's not water storage. This is water storage. Production can keep up with it. But my oxygen supplies don't work. Total demand, stored oxygen. Okay, we got enough stored oxygen for the moment. The rover's coming in. Should be there soon. Once it is, we can immediately start patching the holes and start repairing the items that need repair.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
Let's see, how much more metal is there? Oh, there's another 161 there in sector I2. 22 there. Okay, so for the moment, our metal worries are a little bit less. So,
Funding
which is excellent.
received.
Ah, 432 million, very nice. If I am indeed going to set up my facility over here to start building electronics, I will need more people here, particularly engineers. Filter, specialization, engineers only, apply, launch. That should allow those facilities to keep going. We're still producing some, albeit very few metal parts. Sorry, machine parts. I still need a bunch more engineers here.
Anomaly analyzed.
Oh, what you
There's
get?
more to the barren environs of the
Orbital
red
engineering and
planet
water
than meets the
reclamation.
eye.
Those are two decent research projects. What I ideally also would like to have researched is the water vaporator. This one. Or the moisture vaporator. And I don't have access to it yet. So I'm going to have to be relying upon Earth's supply in order to build one of these things. And I don't quite like that. Because they're very handy. And at some point this water thing is going to dry out. Which is in fact going to happen sooner rather than later. In which case, I'm going to have a pretty big problem. Now, this dome has not enough power, surprise, surprise, because this large wind turbine has failed. The other one looks like it's going to fail as well. Very, very soon. More trouble. There is always more trouble to be had. Let's see, how are the researchers doing? Still very few, in fact. Stealth 2 has landed. Already being loaded with fuel. And should also start getting a lot of rare metals. Enough to keep me going for a while. Provided that they're here. And I don't think that they are, because I don't have enough shuttles. I have enough polymers, and I can now build my own electronics plant. Production, electronics factory, right there. Those things take up a lot of power, and they demand quite a bit of rare metals. But at least they're going to allow me to start building these things on the planet, instead of being relying on Earth in order to ship it in. So it's not ideal, but, well, it's better than not having anything. And since this thing is not doing much, I'm going to shut this one down. Hopefully get a few people working here. There we go. Production 1.9 predicted. And that's not even counting the other rocket that's coming in. I want you to... Oh. Oh, you still have electronics on board. My bad. My bad. You should... also be getting those electronics offloaded. The electronics and machine parts. But I guess the drones are a little busy. 4 electronics. Come on, get this thing offloaded. I need the launch pad. There we go. Good enough. Alright, what's the patient need? It's becoming quite obvious that we are fighting a futile battle. We are far from understanding this condition, and although we may prolong the life of the patient a bit more, a deeper understanding of the disease is still far from our reach and will remain so. The patient is still able to walk around the dome, but soon will have to be submitted to the infirmary for one last treatment. Despite the grand sum of money being spent on the patient to no avail, our colonists seem to celebrate the effort done to help ease the stranger's life. It will have no further value towards discovering a cure, but it will prolong his life. Well, my colonists really like having this guy around. There we go. 3.7 electronics per day. And I'm not... I'm not eating that much in the sense of electronics per day. So I should be getting a supply of electronics at this point. I should be getting a surplus. Those additional engineers might very well want to work here.
New colonists have arrived. Colonists
Shit,
are
there are
departing.
5 people departing. Oh, tourists. Okay. If they're just tourists, I don't mind. They can leave. If it's something more serious, like actual workforce, then I'm gonna have a bigger problem. But I think that the northeastern dome... No, it's not doing quite as well as I'd hoped. I don't want work shifts in the night. During the nighttime. Oh no, this thing also needs more repair or machine parts. Fix that quick. Japan is still offering that for food, yes. There we are, 3.7. Where are all the engineers working, I wonder? Quirks. Tourists, no. Oh, I still have 15 tourists. Oh. Okay. Okay. So I still have 15 of those people who are just feeding off of my supplies without really contributing much to the colony. That sucks. I need to get those people out of here quick. They should be getting Earthsick sooner rather than later, but as far as I'm concerned, can't be soon enough. I really want those people gone. Over here, I still have my arcology. And I should have enough polymers over here to start upgrading this and get these people a bit more comfort. The comfort level seems to be really quite low. They also need more... Yeah, I just need to get more people in here. They're missing quite a lot of workforce. Alright, you ready to go? Stealth 1 with full amount of rare metals. Excellent. That's what I want to see. 4 electronics being produced per day versus 0.7 being consumed. And this one's actually holding more or less steady. The patient has died. We did all we could, but fell short at the end. Sickness is rare among humans in this age. Oh, in the day and age of this virus going around, this is a weird thing to say. We were all taken aback by how unprepared we were to fight this vicious foe. Yet, through aiding the mysterious patient as much as we did, we realized that he is no stranger to us. We stand by one another as humans. The patient's stay with us was brief, but they left a changed colony behind them. Melian colonists have gained the enthusiast perk. Alright, and with that I'm going to end the episode. I think that makes a good ending point.
Funding received.
The colony is doing a little better, especially with those additional supplies of metal that I can now start using. And there's just another bit of metal being found. So, as long as I can get the rover to start transporting that, or sorry, the RC transport to start bringing that back to a facility and make sure that it's available for the rest of the colony, I think we'll live for the time being. Anyway, next week, more Surviving Mars, so join me then, and I shall catch you guys next week.